I'm sure most of us had our breakfast in the morning, and it's a pleasure to know that many children over there in this school are fortunate to have a wonderful parents and also teachers to guide them in their future. But I stand over here representing many rural school-going children. It's an emotional thing for many of us who are working in the rural grassroots because we see that the most important meal of the day, breakfast, is missing for these children. They come to school, attend the classes, wait for the midday meals to be served because that's the only meal which they have after 18 hours of fasting. Now, this is something which we started in 2012 as a small activity. And then, when I was just leaving the school, one of the child came back to me and she told, "Sir, please come daily." That was the call, the inner call, which we kind of took it as a challenge and started doing this morning nutrition program. We understood that if we feed the children, we are actually feeding the present, which will make for the future. And that's how, when we started this program, we understood that it increases the metabolism of the body. It actually kind of also motivates the children to study well. It improves the academic performance of the child. And last but not the least, it actually builds immunity. Many a times in schools I've seen parents go back and tell to the teachers that my child did not have breakfast. I just bought a small tiffin carrier. Can you allow him to have it for 5 minutes? And this is the case with me as well and for all of us over here when we were studying. That's the love which our parents had for us. It also kind of made a very bold step for all of us to do something very unique by serving this morning nutrition program with just about 2 of us, me and my wife and a couple of my friends. We started by serving this breakfast for 50 children. And then, of course, we had our own challenges. We had to also juggle between our jobs and then find time to go to the school and serve these children who are in a rural hamlet 20 kilometers away from the place where I stay and another 40 kilometers away from where I work. So in a day, I used to travel almost 100 kilometers to serve this breakfast for the children and then go back to office work. But that did not stop me. We also had financial burdens, but still nothing stopped us because the moment we started working, serving the children every day, that actually made us feel happy. So here are a couple of transformational stories which I felt I should probably share over here. The bright faces which we see the moment they see us itself is a blessing for all of us. And that made us very happy to serve them whatever breakfast we could bring for them. The children whose arm circumference is very, very little, understanding that they are very weak, inspired us to ensure that they become much more stronger. The disappearing collarbones. Many times we see children having collarbones shown, and we felt, the child is not fed. And this is exactly what made us to do this program day on, every day. And then most important is the dropouts. When the children came to know something is fed in the school, there were no dropouts. Punctuality, 8:30 you got to be in the school, 8:30 they were sharp there. Finish the breakfast, or a health drink, or some bananas, or some milk, 9 o'clock, attend the classes. Otherwise, they were actually fainting in the assembly hall. So this is a very important, unique activity which made a lot of impact in building the nation through nutrition. And then teachers were more encouraged. They felt that, by giving this, they could actually teach well. Otherwise, they were actually speaking or teaching to empty stomachs. And then finally, the local people over there also encouraged us because they were also getting a bit of business, and we were able to prepare something for them and help them have the breakfast with the support of the local vendors over there. And finally, support of the working parents. Many parents who work for, working outside, especially laborers, they cannot even feed the child in the morning. And this actually made a big beginning in making sure that their child is actually fed the moment they come to school. These are some pictures of children with their smiling faces having a very hot milk with a nutritious health drink. Then these are our volunteers who on their own came forward and said, I would like to come serve children idli, serve upma, poha, and that's the way I would like to start the day with love. And some of the pictures of children who actually are all sitting together and having this meal, which is the most important thing before the classes start. And then this is a very unique thing to tell, that a lot of the apartment people came forward to prepare poha, upma, puliogare, the local pellet, whatever is required for the children. And then early morning, 7 o'clock, take that, go to the school, serve the children, come back to work. In such cases, we also identified within the apartment 20 to 25 families, where each of them prepared 10 chapatis. When they were preparing chapatis for the family, they were also preparing for another 10 children. So assuming that it will help the rural poor. So like that, we had 200 chapatis every day coming, and we used to go and distribute that. So likewise, we were trying to involve more and more volunteers to be a part of this very unique program. And you can see the pictures over there. Children very nicely having the drink. Imagine the moment I send a picture about the food which has been prepared by a particular person, is been served and it has been eaten, and then the child is nicely smiling, and the same picture I sent it back to that person, he feels so happy. Something was done for the nation, and something was done through me. We don't need to do something as such as what we would like to do as a big thing. A simple thing like this is good enough. Now, I have to tell my personal challenge over here. Just because we started this program, half of my salary was just going for breakfast program. So there is no saving as such. And then, we realized that we need to get more and more people to support us. And that's how we spoke to a lot of people, a lot of individuals, spoke to many of my colleagues in the office, all my old schoolmates, college friends, everyone. Started asking them to be a part of the program, celebrate the birthdays, celebrate very important anniversary dates, everything in the schools, and also get the children so that they also understand the need of giving it back to the society, the gratitude they need to have for whatever the parents are giving it to them. And why is that many children don't get those important and very basic needs? And whatever said and done, even children, I used to go and tell them to save money so that I can serve, or we can serve, breakfast for the school children. More and more children got added, and as you see, children are kind of being very, very attentive to the classes because of this program. And then we made a typical menu as to what can be served on different days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then the interesting part is, in 2017, we clocked serving 1 lakh children. Now, when we served 1 lakh children, I felt there was always an inner calling that, I should take this full time. And me and my wife, we decided to quit our jobs. And then in 2018 onwards, we took this as our complete full-time work. And as we speak, every time I go to any place, any location, when I go back to home, not only for my children do I get pencils or pens or compass box or whatever is it, I also see to it that I get another 100 or 200 of them so that I can also give it to the children who are there in the rural villages. The kind of transformation which is happening in me, I felt that this is what is the purpose of our life, giving it back to the people. And only when you do it practically, you will be able to understand a bit more better. So we quit, we moved to a very rural hinterland in a place called Chikbalapur, about 30 minutes away from Bangalore International Airport. We're very happy to serve more and more children. And then we started working on a model of getting this support through government, through institutions like ours, corporate bodies, and universities like the various students who are there for various campuses, involving them, and more importantly, Sansthan, and largely the Samaja part of it. The individuals who work at the grassroots also become a part of our program, and we work with them to see to it that all the three come forward: Samaja, Sarkara, Sanstha. All the three come forward to work for this cause. So in 2019-20, when we were just about to expand ourselves, we reached about close to 5 lakh children, and we covered almost 17 states and 3 union territories. All these places, we started the work with the MOU signed with the state governments, with the support provided by the local teachers and the cooks, and also many donors who came forward to support this program. But again, all of us know COVID actually hit us, and we had to stop our work for almost 2 years, but we couldn't actually make a decision of stopping it. We continued serving the children and also their families by giving daily ration items. In whatever capacity we could do, that also helped. So it was just not the breakfast for the children, it actually went into a family by giving them some ration which can help them to serve their livelihoods for almost 2 years. And then in this process, we also recruited almost 100 staff members to support this cause and work towards more and more rural school-going children. This is the pictures about the COVID impact we had to do, where we had to give these dry rations for a lot of family members. And then when we restarted back, it was also understood that we had some sort of innovations to be bringing. So we thought we should try to bring in a health drink, which is more kind of not only healthy, but also builds resistance across any airborne disease. So chickies, something which is very ready to eat kind of foods should also be given so that we can expand more. So we brought in some variations apart from the cooked breakfast, which was earlier the intent. And that's how we made it happen through a lot of innovations and collaborations with a lot of partners. And we right now have these product lines or menus which actually help us to propagate and expand. Bananas, cookies, chickies, and then you have health drinks which are there. All these are given absolutely free of cost to all the school-going children across all the various government schools. Largely and predominantly, we are strong in South India, and now we are just making our inroads towards north and northeastern parts of it. These are the MOUs signed with the various state governments and the district permissions which we have taken so that we have the buy-in from the government, and later on, to sustain the program, we also see that the government itself actually takes up as a program later on, and then continues to give this morning health drink or a morning nutrition program for the children the moment they enter into the class. Now, this is a simple stat of where we stand. Today, we work for almost 30 lakh children. At this point of time, we are serving across 40,000 schools, and at the same time, we also have corporate partners supporting us, close to 50 corporate partners who come forward to help us. And last but not the least, all the volunteers, corporate professionals coming forward and preparing food and then going and serving them is how our whole mechanism is working at this point of time. So just to give you a small quick snapshot, 3 million children across 40,000 government schools, 23 states where we operate in, and 5 union territories are the other places where we also operate with the support of the volunteers. And support staff within the schools, we have cooks and the teachers coming forward to help us. So almost we have 100,000 staff members supporting us in this whole process. And I feel very happy on their behalf. I'm coming and speaking to all of you over here to share our story and tell them, and tell to all of you that this is a wonderful activity which all of us have to be involved. Whichever location, wherever we are, wherever we do as a work, take some time to go to a government school, identify something which you can always give it back to the society. Take your students, take your children, take your grandparents, take your parents, everyone go to a government school, go and celebrate your birthdays or whatever activities in that school, because that is the only incident which will touch your heart. And you can always give it back to them. You can always give books, pencils, whatever is required for the child, scholarships, anything. So it's always an opportunity given by the society to us. It's just that we need to go and represent ourselves. This is something which I would like to share a way forward. We just wanted to tell you that we are making inroads towards various government collaborations, and we are almost trying to reach about close to 1 crore children, about nothing. Almost about 10 million children we are trying to hit in this year. But again, as I stand over here, it's an effort of so many people who came forward to help, and on their behalf, I'm coming and speaking. So people might be asking us, how is it you're able to scale so fast from a 30 lakh to 1 crore? So we collaborate with the government kind of engagements which are already there. In government of Karnataka, they give something called as a milk powder, which is a 150 ml hot milk. So now the collaboration is in such a way that we provide micronutrient health powder mix, which is like having vitamin mineral mixes and the taste is like a chocolate or vanilla, and children will definitely like drinking that health drink which is mixed in the milk powder. So collaborations are bigger now. 10 years back when we started, we were doing only for 50 children, then we had about 1 lakh children, and now you see there's a difference in the way the governments have now come forward to collaborate with us. And we are very happy to share this good news over here. And finally, the key learnings which I felt, as a process, what I learned. I felt that, community-centric approach is very important. You got to be always in the ground, talk to them, understand how we can work together under collaborations. Very importantly, innovation. As I mentioned, let's not confine only to cook breakfast or something which you are thinking of giving as a breakfast item to the children, but always find some easier ways to intervene, which will help them to kind of ensure some nutrition is provided to them before the classes start. And financial savvy, we should also be very careful on what is our costing, how are we going to sustain, because you are giving it to children. The moment you give it to children, children definitely will expect that it has to come the next day also. So we got to be very careful in how we manage our spending and how we take that program as a sustainable model. Last but not the least, all of you know it, join us to make sure no child goes to school hungry ever. I thank this opportunity for sharing this. Thank you.